The last couple of weeks we had spent camping just off of Lake Michigan, one of the Great Lakes of North America. We were staying on the southern part of Upper Michigan. However, it was time for us to hit the road once again. We were excited to explore more of Upper Michigan and to dip our toes in yet another Great Lake. Lake Superior, here we come. And we found the perfect spot for us, right next to Lake Superior. This campground had lots of trees for shade to help us keep cool in the summer months, as well as walking trails that weaved in and around the campsites, which also appeared to double as cross-country ski tracks and trails in the winter months. Home sweet home. But most of all, one of the things we loved the most about this campsite was we had our own personal trail leaving from our campsite right to Lake Superior. It was just so beautiful, and to put our feet in the sand was an extra treat itself. And wow, what a view! We just loved it here. Down? No. You don't remember that, do you? Down? Are you gonna shake? Shake. Okay, we'll allow that. Can you remember my funky socks? Down? Nope, down. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Shake. Good girl. Go down again. Down. 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 Oh, good girl. With views like that, we just knew that Lakeside was the place to be during sunset. So we secured Mr. Bennie in the boler as the sun began to set and headed to the beach. And we are so glad we did. It did not disappoint. The next morning, we decided to go spend some time at the beach because it looked so beautiful out. However, it was actually quite windy that day, and we didn't realize just how windy it was until we were fully exposed on the beach. As it was so windy, we decided to seek shelter back at our campsite and make some food. Well, we definitely were overdue for a trip to town, as we were now cooking one of the last few elements we had left in our stock. And really, the timing couldn't have been better, as it was really windy today, and rain was in the forecast for later this afternoon. So we'd have our stuffing in a box for breakfast, and then go to town, and resupply for a few days. The nearest grocery store was a bit of a drive, which was okay with us as it was a very beautiful drive. However, there is a long section where the roads are very washboard and bumpy, and I could not help but be impressed by my wife Tara's dedication to knitting, as she continued to work on her knitting project the whole drive there, regardless of how bumpy it got, and for how long. Why Tara never sees the wildlife. Same view no matter where we go. Tara, on this type of road. On the way into town, we spotted the cutest little roadside coffee shop that ran out of a vintage RV. So on our way back to the campsite, we made a point of stopping there for a hot beverage and a light snack. How could we not? It was a vintage RV after all. It was called the Ugly Fish Baking Company, and it sold hot and cold beverages and freshly baked goods. And it was definitely worth the stop. And best of all, we got to enjoy our beverage and our baked goods before the rain came, which just happened to hit and have to drive through on the way back to the campsite. Lucky for us, the rain had stopped by the time we got back to the campsite. Not only that, but it did not rain nearly as hard as it did in town. We could tell it had rained here while we were gone, but we were just glad not to be returning to one big soupy mess. We did a loop around the campsite upon our return, checking out all the newcomers and all the new rigs that had arrived since we left. The one that stood out the most to us was the Casita from Michigan. The fiberglass RVs and retro RVs always seemed to stand out to us. During our stay here at this campground, we eventually did meet the owners of the Casita, Ed and Heather. They were an amazing couple and we enjoyed spending time with them, talking everything from adventures, best locations to see, and upgrades for fiberglass RVs.
Stella, you have a bowl of water. Wanna go for a walk?
Oh, I haven't been down there.
Come on, Stella. Let's go.
She just realized she could.
Oh, hang on.
Later on that evening, while relaxing in the Boler, Tarah was reviewing some old footage that we had taken a few weeks ago, and she came across this one video clip that the audio got all distorted for some reason, and we couldn't get enough of it. We laughed and laughed and laughed.
What the hell happened to the sound? Oh my god!
The other day, when we went to town, we drove past something called Oswald's Bear Ranch, and we decided we wanted to check it out on our next free day. And today seemed like the perfect weather to go check out some bears. But we will make a whole nother video on that experience, so stay tuned for that video. But it was a pretty neat experience. We even got to get our picture taken with a bear cub. We were enjoying our stay here at this campsite so much that we decided to purchase a few more nights. Come on, Stella. Let's go. Wait. And just like that, we were set to stay a few more days. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for our next video as we spend a few more days at this location and get some big news that completely change our summer plans. Oh, and stick around for the bloopers at the end of this video. See you next time. We found some poutine. Must be getting close to Canada. We were close. Whoa! Mmm. Poutine! Oh my leg over. Oh my leg over. Oh my leg over. Oh my leg over.